If you want to take this up, we'll try to get him on the phone right now.
Sure.
And again, 25 acres and growing.
And as you can see, towards your left side of the television, if you see red blinking lights, those are fire crews. I don't know if you can see it on the left top side. They are making their way to the fire. Right now, it's 25 acres and growing because of these winds. Extra resources are attending this fire as of right now, and as you can see, the fire crews right behind the smoke on the left side of that fire. It looks like they finally got to the site. Once again, it is 25 acres and growing. We actually do have John Palmentary.
We have John joining us right now here at 616. John, I don't know if you've been able to see these live pictures or if you're getting a view of it yourself, but what does it look like from where you are?
Yeah, the live picture I see is the fire itself, and I'm right below it. So this technically is going to be up in the Cold Springs area, which would be east of Gibraltar and west of Toro Canyon. It's more of above Montecito. We are seeing very active flame lengths look to be stretching out quite a bit up in that area there. And this fire is active, but the winds are going to the east, and they are light winds to the east from what we can see. But there certainly is an area that's burning vigorously up there. The threat to lives and property at this point does not appear to be coming down towards the city. The winds are very light where we're at now, and that's a good sign, but it's definitely bending to the east, not to the right, not towards the populated areas above Gibraltar, and certainly not down towards down Canyon, as we have seen in the past. The last night was a very windy night, as you know, that was on the southwest region where all the canyons were very active with wind. So that being said, very visible. Lots of fire crews are coming in. They're ordering up aircraft. As soon as the morning light comes, we'll probably be seeing some aircraft coming in as well, and they've identified this. They're calling it the Gibraltar fire, based on its location. Currently, I'm right below it, though, in the Ciolito area, looking up at it.
All right, John, and you can maybe provide historical reference better than anyone. We've had fires, I don't want to say in this area. I feel like the T and Jesucito are maybe a little closer to the city, but this is the same general vicinity, right?
No, it's above it by a significant amount. It's up on the ridge line or below the ridge line, maybe not all the way up to the top, but it's certainly not key fire location, which, as you know, was right behind the Westmont College. That was much more integrated with the homes in the urban area there, and we had a vigorous 70-mile-an-hour wind that night that put it right into homes. This is not that case at all. Certainly, we've got some significant signs that it's active, and it's in a canyon and on a ridge line, and it's got some terrain that might move the fire on its own, but it's not driven by driving winds, and that's good news at this hour. And because it's against the dark morning sky, it's extremely visible from a number of different locations. But it is in its own pocket right now. To frame what it's been like over the last 30 minutes, seeing it from the Carpinteria, Montecito, Front Country area, it's not particularly spreading into a larger area as fast as we have seen in the past. That's good news. At times, it's certainly going to pick up a lot of fuel and energy and be more visible when it gets into thicker brush, but it's not particularly jumping from canyon to canyon or coming down, and that's a good sign right now for firefighters. They'll be able to put a line around this and get a frame as to where they want to take this on. And we just looked at the morning hours not bring any further wind. It's certainly very visible now. Even now it's kind of flaring up if anyone's looking at it outside and watching the TV at the same time or looking at that picture. It's got its moments, but it's definitely not in populated areas.
Certainly good news, John.
So, John, are there any homes back there?
Generally up in that area there's some homes, ranch properties of sorts, but it's certainly not a heavily populated area.
Yeah, we see it kind of lay down in the hillside, and then you see it flare back up again. We're getting a pretty good look at some of the flames that seem to be pretty big. I mean, we're so far away from it, and like you said, it's very dark out there, so it is glowing more, and it's easy to see. But you're on your way, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, and I've actually teamed up with one of our units, K5, and we're here in a very good visual spot. So we're going to move in a little bit closer, but I think we're going to be more on the outside of this right now to see a little bit better picture. I've got to get more familiar with that area myself, as you say, to see who lives up there and what kind of evacuations are taking place.
John,
that is a not so populated area.
John, does it look like the fire's spreading since the first time you saw the flames?
Yes, the fire is spreading, but not much. It's bending to the east from the smoke I can see, and it's illuminating itself, which is helpful, but it's not moving what I would say very aggressively. It might be creating its own weather system up there right now, because it certainly isn't windy where I'm at. It's a very light wind, and so yes, but it's staying. I would say it's staying in its general bowl area, wherever it is up there, as opposed to jumping canyon to canyon. And my biggest concern is if it comes down canyon, and that would be everyone's biggest concern, of course, right now. So they want to, and I don't know what precisely next to it, but as it goes east, it goes more towards the hills above Montecito, which is a very dicey area to get into. Not a lot of access roads. The Montecito Fire Department. There's another flare right now.
Yeah, we're seeing some huge flames on our live pictures.
Really coming up, and that is on the western side of the fire right now. It's got into some kind of a fuel source there, and but the Montecito Fire Protection District certainly knows that area very well. It has cut lines up there and has its access points up there. But that area, as you know, from Montecito to the east is not an area that has known to burn much in recent years. As a matter of fact, my understanding is this is one of the areas that has some of the oldest fuel on the south coast that has not burned, as opposed to some of the Sun Country areas, the Jesus Zone, San Marcos Pass, and the T-Fire area.
Well, and then they tell these people, especially if you're living back in those areas, that defensible space is so important. And John, we see the crews making their way out there. This is obviously, there's a lot of roads back there that are making their way into the backcountry, and we can see the blinking lights and flashing lights as their crews are starting to get to this fire. We have seen it move